February 14, 2024. In a small Moscow apartment, the world celebrated love. But for Viktor Petrov, a 52-year-old factory worker, it was just another cold, lonely evening. Snow blanketed the city, and silence filled Viktor's home. He sat at his kitchen table, staring at a half-empty cup of tea, the hum of the refrigerator, his only companion. His wife was gone, his son Dmitry lived far away, and their conversations had grown rare. Viktor scrolled through his phone, seeing photos of happy families, feeling the ache of distance and regret. He remembered promises made to his late wife to always be there for their son, but life had pulled them apart. The apartment felt smaller, the weight of unspoken words heavy. Seeking distraction, Viktor opened his old laptop and clicked on a playlist, sad songs from around the world. The first few tracks faded into the background, but then a new song began, a haunting guitar melody that stopped him in his tracks. The sound was unfamiliar, yet it resonated deeply. Viktor closed his eyes, letting the music fill the room. For a moment, the cold faded, replaced by something raw and stirring. He didn't know the language, but the emotion was unmistakable. The song seemed to echo his own longing and loss. Viktor listened, transfixed, as the melody wrapped around his memories. He felt tears prick his eyes, surprised by the depth of his reaction. The music had reached a place words never could. Viktor sat in silence, the song lingering in the air, a lifeline on a lonely night. The song was called Anak, sung in a language Viktor didn't know. The singer's voice was raw, full of emotion, and Viktor was captivated. Though the words were foreign, the melody spoke of longing and regret, a parent calling out to a distant child. Each note pulled memories from Viktor's heart. Dmitry as a child, their arguments, their last goodbye at the train station. Viktor felt tears streaming down his face, the music unlocking grief and love he'd hidden for years. The song was more than just music, it was his own story, sung by a stranger from a faraway land. When the song ended, the silence in Viktor's apartment felt different, full of reflection, not emptiness. He wiped his eyes and looked at the screen. Anak, Freddy Aguilar, from the Philippines. Viktor didn't know where the Philippines was, but he felt a powerful connection to the singer. Only a parent, he thought, could understand this kind of pain. The music had crossed every barrier, language, distance, culture. Viktor realized he wasn't alone in his feelings. The song had given voice to what he couldn't say. He sat quietly, letting the last notes echo in his mind. For the first time in a long while, Viktor felt seen. The melody lingered, a bridge between two distant hearts. Viktor knew he had to learn more. Viktor searched for the meaning of Anak, finding a Russian translation of the lyrics. The words told of a child's birth, a parent's boundless joy, and the pain of growing apart. The song spoke of sleepless nights, worry, and the hope for forgiveness and reunion. Viktor was stunned. The story was his own, and that of countless parents everywhere. The language barrier meant nothing. The heart understood everything. Overwhelmed, Viktor felt compelled to share this discovery. He set up his phone, hit record, and played Anak again, letting his emotions show. He posted the video online with a simple caption. "I don't understand the words, but I understand the pain." Viktor didn't expect anyone to notice, but he needed to let the world see what the song had done for him. His vulnerability was his message. The music had given him a voice. Viktor waited, uncertain but hopeful. The story was just beginning. Viktor's video, raw and honest, quickly went viral. Overnight, thousands watched and shared his tearful reaction to Anak. Comments flooded in. "I'm crying with you, brother. This is our song. I just called my mother for the first time in a year." The video struck a chord across Russia, uniting people in shared emotion. The Anak challenge began. Russians of all ages filmed themselves listening to the song, many moved to tears. News outlets called it the Filipino song that made Russia weep. Psychologists explained that Viktor's vulnerability gave others permission to feel and express their own grief. Viktor, once invisible, became a symbol of connection and healing. He was overwhelmed, but for the first time, he felt understood. The song had become an anthem for parents and children, a bridge across silence and distance. Viktor's loneliness was replaced by a sense of belonging. His story was now everyone's story. The power of music had united a nation in shared humanity. Viktor's tears had started a movement. The cold Moscow night had given way to something warm and universal. The world was listening. Viktor's pain had become a source of hope. The song's message was clear. We are not alone. Love, even in sorrow, connects us all. Why did Anak touch Russia so deeply? Both Russian and Filipino cultures hold family as sacred, the parent-child bond at their core. Russia's history values soulful, melancholic art. Anak fit perfectly, honest and raw. The song's authenticity resonated with Russians, who saw their own struggles reflected in its lyrics. At a time of family disconnection and generational gaps, Anak gave voice to silent anxieties. It was a mirror for parents and children, expressing fears and hopes rarely spoken aloud. Victor's reaction was real, unplanned, and deeply human. People saw themselves in his tears, finding comfort and community. The song's power was in its truth, a parent's love, a child's distance, and the hope for forgiveness. Anak became more than a song, it was a shared experience. It reminded everyone that, beneath the surface, we are all connected by love and loss. News of Anak's impact in Russia reached the Philippines, surprising and moving many. Filipinos watched as Russians wept to a song they'd grown up with, seeing it anew through foreign eyes. Both cultures value family deeply. The word anak, child, is central in the Philippines, where many parents work abroad, creating their own distances. Seeing Russians connect with the song created instant kinship. Online, Filipinos and Russians exchanged messages of understanding and support. We are happy, our song touched your hearts. Family is everything. A spontaneous dialogue blossomed, bridging two distant nations. Music became their common language. Russians discovered the Filipino love for singing and storytelling. Despite differences, they shared the same emotional core. Anak had revealed a universal humanity, uniting hearts across continents. The online connection grew into a vibrant community. A Facebook group, Russian-Filipino Friendship, the Anak Connection, exploded in membership. Russians tried Filipino recipes, Filipinos shared Russian films. Victor became a beloved figure, receiving messages and invitations from Filipinos in Moscow. At a Filipino dinner, Victor found warmth and friendship he'd never expected. Most moving was his reconciliation with Dmitry, who, after seeing the viral video, called his father for a heartfelt conversation. Inspired by Victor, others reached out to estranged family members. The song was healing families, not just connecting strangers. Stories of reunion and forgiveness filled the group's page. Anak had become a catalyst for personal and collective healing. Music had turned a viral trend into a movement of love. Victor's loneliness was replaced by a global family. The power of a song had changed lives. The Anak phenomenon caught the attention of diplomats. The Philippine and Russian embassies praised the cultural connection, calling it a testament to music's power. Cultural exchange programs gained new energy, including the Anak Melody Exchange Program for artists from both countries. Victor was invited as a guest of honor to the Philippine embassy in Moscow. The ambassador told him, "You have done more for our friendship than years of meetings." Victor was deeply moved, never imagining his sadness could spark something so meaningful. The biggest news, Freddie Aguilar would perform a special concert in Moscow, with Victor as guest of honor. Freddie also invited Victor to the Philippines to meet him. Victor's journey, born from loneliness, was about to cross borders. The story of a song had become a story of nations. Victor's meeting with Freddie Aguilar in the Philippines was unforgettable. Through a translator, Victor shared how Anak had changed his life and reconnected him with his son. Freddie smiled and said, "The song belongs to every parent in every country. It belongs to you." Freddie played Anak for Victor, and this time Victor's tears were of gratitude and joy. The Moscow concert was historic. Thousands gathered as a Russian choir sang Anak, followed by Freddie's performance. For the finale, Victor and Dmitry joined Freddie on stage, singing with a mixed choir of Russians and Filipinos. The crowd sang in Tagalog, Russian, and melody, united in hope. In that moment, there were no borders, only hearts connected by a song. The melody drifted over Red Square, a symbol of unity and forgiveness. Anak had become a global anthem of love and reconciliation. Music had melted the coldest hearts and built bridges where none existed. Victor's journey proved that a single song can change the world. The universal language of music had spoken, and the world had listened.